Supervisors meeting to order. Ask the clerk to call the roll, please.
Steve Carrienan. Kay Wilson. Tweed Schuman.
Here.
Stacy Hessel. Randy Newman. Mark Helwig. Thomas Duffy. Marshall Savitsky. Jim Evans.
Here.
Chuck Van Etten. Jeff Haney. John Righeimer. Ron Kinsley.
Sure.
Ron Buckholz.
Present.
Dale Magnuson. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item is the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Number 4, certification compliance with open meeting laws.
This meeting was noticed to the media and the public as required by section 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes.
Thank you. Number 5 is the meeting agenda. The agenda is set. Number 6 is public comment. Anybody who's wishing to speak to the full board, step forward, state your name and address, and we ask you to keep it to 3 minutes. Nobody online? Okay. The next item that we have is not on the agenda, but we're going to take time to do it, is the recognition of someone that's retiring.
He's retired.
At this time, we're going to recognize our maintenance administrator. He's retiring. He's worked with us for a long time. The building that you're in, he's had a very big hand in putting together. The county board wished to build a second courtroom. We hired Meyer Construction, and they had construction meetings every week. And every week, I'd drive up here, and Tim was here. Tom Huff and I sat in that meetings, we'd say, Tim, is that right? When they were talking about stuff, he said, well, we might want to do it this way. And we listened to him, and look what we have. I think he's done an absolutely wonderful job. And with that, we have a plaque to give to him in grateful appreciation for your service as Sawyer County Maintenance Supervisor, Mr. Tim Hagberg, September 11th, 2023 to September 2nd, 2025. Congratulations to Tim and his wife.
On the 10th would be 22 years. So, yeah, I tell you. No, it's been a good job. I've enjoyed working for Sawyer County, and now we're looking forward to a new chapter, getting down by our daughters and their families, so we can spend time with grandkids. So, but it's been it's been good.
Tim, you want the box?
You want this for your plaque?
We also have cake in honor of Tim and his wife for his retirement.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you. Number 7, consider approving the minutes of the previous meeting of July 17th.
I'll make a motion. No, sorry.
Motion by
approved.
Mr. Righeimer, second by Mr. Duffy to approve the minutes as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Number 8, zoning committee. Chair report, Mr. Buckles.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Sawyer County Zoning Committee held its monthly public hearing last Friday at the meeting, the committee heard 2 rezones, case which were recommended for approval, which will be coming to the county board next month. There was 1 conditional use permit and 1 final county subdivision plat that were also approved. The zoning department remains extremely busy with land use permits. As of today, 398 land use permits have been issued this year. This is up 10 permits over the same time last year. Building activity remains high within our area. The zoning administrator is currently working on other ordinance amendments, including citation ordinances, update, and trying to incorporate amendments from the ad hoc committee focusing around multi-dwelling developments. So if there's no more questions, I will turn it over to Mr. Kozlowski, our zoning administrator, for the proposed solar moratorium ordinance and other zoning agenda items.
Thank you. For this evening, we have 2 agenda items. The first is a solar moratorium ordinance. So moratorium ordinance in this instance is to a pause or hold on solar facilities and battery energy storage systems. We saw a request earlier this year for a 2 megawatt facility, which was a 20-acre proposal in the town of Round Lake. And currently Sawyer County zoning does not have any ordinances in place to regulate any of these solar facilities. It was recommended by the zoning committee that we would pause or hold development on them until we can draft and craft an ordinance that will work for Sawyer County. That is what you have in front of you. It is a moratorium to pause solar facility development for a period up to 9 months, in which then Sawyer County will adopt some form of ordinance. What that ordinance may look like, we are hoping to get other stakeholders involved, be it towns, be it the zoning committee, be it general public, and even, yes, solar distributors, solar manufacturers, the people that make the solar facilities, have them have a seat at the table as well. We do want to kind of all work together on this, but we want to make sure that we're doing it well for Sawyer County. So again, that is what you have in front of you as part of that moratorium, is just to pause and halt that development for a period up to 9 months. Any questions?
Is this just for commercial facilities or is this for residential?
Yes, this would just be for commercial facilities, those that would actually be generating power to sell back to the grid. This is not for personal use. Personal use we've had, within Sawyer County for many decades, and those we regulate through just our county land use permits. This would be for those that are generating facility to sell back to the grid. These are your larger operations. You may be familiar if you've traveled on Highway 53 near Rice Lake. Those are kind of the facilities that we're talking about. There's also something known as battery energy storage systems. Those are larger kind of freight containers. Basically think of it as a large lithium battery that grabs power during off-peak energy and is able to sell it back to the grid during high demand. Those also have some environmental concerns, noise concerns, so that would also be hopefully crafted in any type of new ordinance that we would be creating with solar facilities, as well as data centers. Data centers are becoming a little bit more prevalent in the southern part of the state. These are large buildings that hold multiple servers. Maybe IT can talk about that a little bit more, but that's also something we'd be looking at as part of this ordinance adoption.
Sure. That's a whole different operation though.
It is.
It's not generating power.
No, but it'd be,
Using power.
right, but it's still as a larger industrial type of use on what we would generally see on agricultural zone properties.
So these are utilities then, you're saying you're putting a pause on like a utility or cooperative?
Larger facilities, yes, larger utility facilities, yes.
Okay.
Because again, we have no ordinances that really regulate them. Decommissioning, what zone districts they're allowed in, compatible land use, what zone districts, there's nothing on the books.
Right. And I think to that point, I mean, the federal subsidies are going away, I think, I've heard, for solar, so.
But as of even today, I had an email correspondence from another solar facility that is interested in doing business in Sawyer County.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Jay, is 9 months long enough for us to look at this and draft the ordinances?
I would hope
be
so. In
acceptable?
conversations with legal counsel, Rebecca has worked with WCA and actually developing some of these ordinances for other counties, and we would ultimately piggyback off of some of that work that's already been done.
Cecil.
Are we approving the ordinance and the resolution both? What we have, the two items, or just the resolution?
Just the solar moratorium or ordinance.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Cecil, second by Mr. Schuman to approve. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Letter C, possible reconsideration of a resolution, Sawyer County Code Ordinance Amendment, Appendix D. This is the campgrounds with possible 30%. I guess a lot of the towns have responded back that they didn't want to have no limit on it. So last month we had it on the agenda and it was approved with no limit. So if we want to discuss it now, we have to have a vote. How does that work? Help me out.
All right, so we did pass this amended version last month. Since that time, the clerk has received several correspondence from townships. One of the legal remedies before us in a situation like that is to put it back on the agenda again, which is why you're seeing it tonight. So it could be up for just to revisit it, reconsideration.
Chairman, wasn't there, you didn't have it on the agenda last month, or was that something else? I remember we couldn't take action on something because it wasn't on the agenda.
Yes, I'll address that. Last month, we had it on the agenda. The only thing that we were missing was how we tried to put it on discussion and action so the board and public know that. That was not on there. We checked with legal and legal said it's okay. All the information is there. You can move forward with it. So that's what we did.
One more point I should make is if somebody wanted to bring this back for reconsideration, it has to be either someone who voted in favor of it last month or someone who was not here to vote for it. So if someone who voted no can't bring it back, it's my understanding. Rebecca, chime in if I'm not correct.
No, Mr. Markern, you're correct. The motion to reconsider must be brought by someone who voted in the winning side, if you will. So whatever's, so in this instance, who voted for the approval without the 30% at the July meeting may bring said motion to reconsider. Or if somebody was absent, they could also bring the motion to reconsider.
Cecil.
But so we would make a motion to not consider? Can we make a motion to not consider?
We would make the motion to see if we want to revisit it and rediscuss it. Otherwise.
So do we, say like myself wasn't here. Yeah. Say that we want, in order to discuss it, do we have to bring it up?
We have to vote on whether we want to or not. The whole board has to vote if we wish to do that.
And the issue is whether to leave it with no
Limits,
without
without a limit,
any limits, or put the 30% back on.
or send
And
it.
I would highly suggest before we even have any more discussion that you entertain that motion to reconsider. So Mr. Helwig, I apologize. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just want to make sure that all the discussion happens in the right order.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Thank you. So
You're welcome.
I'll make a motion to bring it up, bring up the
To reconsider.
reconsider. We can't discuss it.
We have a motion by Mr. Helwig, second by Mr. Duffy the motion is to reconsider, we can rediscuss the items. We have to vote, does that have to be a roll call vote?
Does the second have to be a yes vote as well? No?
Just the motion.
Okay.
Do we have to have a roll call vote for that?
Do you want a roll call vote? Would it be good to have a roll call vote for this motion?
Sure.
Chairman, before we vote, Liz, what were the towns complaining about?
You can't, you have to
That's
just,
the administrator. Go ahead.
Ultimately, the towns submitted for what was known as a is a resolution of disapproval. Whether they did it legally or not,
Okay.
we're not, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I do
Go ahead,
not
cut
like
me off.
to go off, especially virtually, but let's get this motion
Yeah.
voted on first before we
Yes,
have any
vote.
discussion.
Okay.
So Jay can give the board additional details. So by virtue of this, what you're deciding is to whether bring it back as if we're rewinding to July, the July board meeting, and then we can have all the discussion we want if this motion passes.
Are you ready, Liz? Roll call vote, yes.
I'm just wanting to confirm that Mark was a yes or no, or that he was absent.
I wasn't here.
Okay, that's what, I just wanted to confirm that so that the public knew.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, this is a roll call vote to reconsider the original proposal. Steve Carrianen?
Yes.
Kay Wilson? Yes. Tweed Schuman?
Yes.
Stacy Hessel?
No.
Randy Newman?
No.
Mark Helwig?
Yes.
Thomas Duffy?
Yes.
Marshall Savitsky?
Yes.
Jim Evans?
Yes.
Chuck Van Etten? Jeff Haney? John Righeimer?
No.
Ron Kinsley?
Yes.
Ron Buckholz?
Yes.
Dale Magnuson?
No.
Okay, one more time, I'm gonna count.
I got 9 to 6.
Yeah, I've got 9 to 6. 9 in favor, yes, and 6 no.
Okay,
So the
now-
motion carried.
Thank you. And now we're open for discussion regarding, have the administrator go ahead.
Yeah, so ultimately, the towns started to submit what is known as a resolution of disapproval. So ultimately, I don't know what the final count was, but there is a state statute that if over 50% of the towns affected by an ordinance submit a resolution of disapproval, the ordinance doesn't move forward. We have over 50%, whether or not they did everything legally as to the statutory requirements as to officially submit for the resolution of disapproval. I'm not gonna argue that here tonight, but that support of what the towns had done basically is showing that they're not pleased with the resolution that went forward. So now we have some decisions to make, and those decisions should really be discussed by the county board supervisors is what action we go to. Probably best if it goes back to zoning committee and we rehash out why the 30% was ever there. Should that 30% go to a higher percentage? Ultimately, what I think some of the towns may not realize is that the 30% currently isn't in the ordinance. Right now, it is at 100% because it was never lawfully and legally adopted last time. So we're at a weird kind of crossroads. So hopefully there's some type of get-together compromise that everyone can live with here, so.
Cecil.
I just want to make a motion to bring it back to the zoning committee.
Mr. Helwig.
To clear my mind here, the resolution.
You can't discuss without a second.
Yeah, I'll second that, Chairman.
Thank you. So we have a motion by Ms. Cecil, second by Mr. Schuman. Go ahead, Mr. Helwig. Mr. Helwig.
Mark, yeah.
What, excuse me? I'm sorry?
You're on.
We have a motion on the floor. You may discuss now, please.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that the resolution that's in our packet, it does say 30%. So is that one not?
Correct. So that was the recommendation from zoning committee as to have a 30% limitation. When it went for adoption at part of county board removed that 30% limitation and passed the ordinance in its entirety minus the 30% limitation.
But you said that wasn't lawfully done?
No, that was.
Okay, that was done.
Yep. It was the resolutions of disapproval back from the towns that may or may not have been, but again, we're taking it at the merit that the towns were not happy with what county board had done by removing that 30% at county board level.
So they're not happy that the 30% was taken out?
Correct. Correct.
Go with you.
Well, because it wasn't in there in the first place, so you have to be ethical. And if it wasn't in there and we're operating at 100%, why would we add that to it? So I think in favor of what Jay is saying, let's do things right. And so that's why if it has to go back to zoning so that people understand it better, I think that that's the proper process. There's going to be a lot of lives affected, and so that's what we have to consider.
And my understanding is this doesn't affect any existing facilities. It's just going forward, correct?
Yes, I mean, we've been working with legal on that. Again, it's whether or not a conditional use permit was approved pre that, or from that 2016 era until the, I guess the error was observed by me that it was not properly adopted, and whether or not a conditional use permit was approved with a specific condition that had a limitation on the percentage of park models and or camping cabins, which again, I have not gone through those case files yet at this point.
Chairman, yeah, Jay, so we drafted this ordinance with some changes, right? And then we sent it to the towns,
Yeah, we had, I guess.
right? And the
like 7
towns,
options, right?
right, and the towns approved the 30%, the majority of the towns.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. Okay, so it's gonna go back to zoning. I think that's good.
And my point again is that we don't regulate anything else at 30%. So we're crossing a line by trying to start telling businesses to regulate at 30%.
Mr. Buckles.
Yeah, usually since I've been on this board, I've seen where, where a committee of jurisdiction made a recommendation to bring it to the county board, and they followed their recommendation. Now, I don't know what happened here that it ain't doing that, but it was sent out to the towns once or twice. They sent it back with non-approval. We fixed it, the zoning committee did, and we sent it back out with what the towns wanted in it, and the majority of the towns approved it. So I guess I hear what Stacy's saying, but we as a zoning committee put that in there, and we're the jurisdiction of the zoning. So why, I guess I was for it, sending it back at zoning at one time, but I don't think it's gonna do any good. I think it's gonna come back the same way as we just now sent it. So I think we should make the vote here to either put the 30% back in or just kill it. So.
Right now, we have a motion to send it back to the committee in a second. Did you have another comment, Mr. Schuman?
No, I think Mr. Buckholz cleared it up. The zoning committee, though, actually took the voice of the towns, the majority of the towns, when we put that together and when we brought it here.
Cecil.
Chairman, could we maybe split in the middle, like 65%? I mean, meet in the middle?
Right now, we have a motion to send it back to the zoning. Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, we're gonna vote on sending it back to the committee. All in favor of sending it back to the committee? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. It's going back to the committee. Thank you. That was an important thing to get through, and we've done it. Thank you for your time. Number 9, Public Works Committee. Turn your light on, please.
These are the minutes from the, excuse me. I don't know. Where am I? Oh, I gotta get back to it now. I had to go back and look at that ordinance, I'm sorry. I was all ready for this. Well, you guys can probably read it in your thing before I can find it, so. You can move on if you like.
Hope you find it before the next board meeting.
Well, like I say, probably just go ahead and.
Otherwise you have to read two of them. Let's skip that report and go on to the next one.
Well, you know, we can, it's in the packet, so. if- Yeah.
Page 17.
17.
Find it? We'll come back to it. We're gonna go to letter B, Town of Winter, thank you letter. That was for the bridge that we had purchased and they're using. They're gonna use it for approximately 3 years, and then it'll be available for the rest of the county. The forestry, they spoke up and said potentially we might need that in some areas. Letter C, airport resolution. Letter I, resolution to approve the changing ownership of the Hayward Aviation release of Todd Van Nespin from the personal guarantees. Mr. Markman.
So Mr. Van Nespin is retiring, and Mr. Leslie wishes to buy him out of his 50% share of Hayward Aviation LLC. This is a little bit of a complicated situation here because a lot of things have to happen at the same time. So if the board wishes to approve this resolution, I would make it contingent on 4 things. Those 4 things are included in your packet. The first one being the unanimous written resolution from all members of Hayward Aviation LLC, which is approving the sale of Van Nispin's shares to Leslie. The second contingency would be the sale of the percentage interest agreement within Hayward Aviation LLC. All of these are within Hayward Aviation. They are not county documents. And then the third one is a contingency on assignment and assumption of the percentage interest of Hayward Aviation. That is the 50% assigning ownership to Mr. Leslie. And also releasing Van Nispin of personal guarantee, which is another important part. And we don't want to release them on our end until that happens on that end. And then the final one is that Mr. Leslie can secure financing to actually arrange for the purchase of the 50%. So any motion to approve this resolution before the board should contain those 4 contingencies.
Mr. Leslie is here also. Mr. Righeimer.
I was just gonna make a motion to approve with the contingencies listed by Mr. Markman.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Righeimer, second by Mr. Newman to approve as presented. Any discussion? Yes.
Yeah, in discussion, it looks like there was a lot of legal work to put all these things together. Did the county have to pay for that, or did aviation?
Aviation.
Hayward Aviation.
Is that true, Mike?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So our legal team just looked at it, we didn't get billed for it, for putting
His
all this
legal team
together?
prepared the documents, yeah.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Letter II, resolution to amend the FBO agreement, First Amendment of the FBO agreement, First Amendment. Mr. Markman.
This is related to the financing of it. The bank felt much more comfortable with some additional years on the contract instead of renewing or revisiting the FBO contract itself. We would keep the terms the way they are, but this would add an option for a third 5-year extension. So right now there are 2 5-year extensions. This would add a third to get the bank to a more comfortable level. Security and how long the business is approved for.
Make a motion to approve?
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Helbig, second by Mr. Newman to approve as presented. Discussion.
Yeah, is the county still putting money into the airport? Or is the airport sustainable now?
The county puts money in, the airport is not 100% self-sustained. For last year, I think the county's contribution ended up being about 30,000 for 2024.
What about next year's?
Same.
Same?
Might be the
Well,
same,
the-
huh?
I thought the goal for this was that the airport was to run itself and the county was just giving them a lift to get on their own. I mean, when you take the fuel sales to the planes, and there's big money in that, we were told when I sat on Public Works. So I'm just thinking, at what point will the county not have to contribute to the airport?
That's a good question. We've constantly made progress. Some that we've had to pay them when I first got on the board was like 70,000, we're down to 30,000. So we've made tremendous progress. Fuel sales are big. The more traffic he brings in, usually the more sales he makes of fuel, and we're getting a percentage of that, so that helps a lot. Does it answer the question completely? Well, I don't know what the future's gonna bring, but we're working that way.
Mr. Markin, what do we bring in for fuel revenue? I mean, because I was on the board, I was on the committee when you were, Mr. Chairman, and so I remember that, where we, 75, 80,000 a year to the airport. And then they redid his contract, and it was supposed to get closer.
What you have, it's like.
I know it has,
Sure,
Mark, but
so
now he
from
wants a
70 to
third
30.
5-year with the same terms. Why don't we get closer to,
I don't think it has been 5 years yet since his last contract, has it?
I believe the contract was signed in 2019, yes, there it is.
Okay.
So to answer your question is, the more fuel sales he sells, the more percentage we get. Not the more percentage, but the more we come in with the percentage that we have set. So it's working that way, but it's not there completely. Do you have another question, Mr. Martin?
I'm trying to find that, the actual sales last year.
I did.
Is that relevant to the motion, though?
We're still in discussion on it.
Nobody, Mr. Parker wants to answer Mr. Schubin's question.
Between fuel, FBO user fees, and enterprise fees, we took in about 55,000, 56,000, and then the hangar leases and easements was about another 26,000. And another 664 for parking fees. All total, 83,000 in revenues. In 23, the revenues were 59,000, so there was quite a jump in 24.
And just to be clear, this year is it's gonna hurt him because he had a month on with no planes coming in.
Well, the airport was closed for 35 days,
Right.
but it has been very busy since then, and
Yes, but that's-
we've closed the gap. I don't know if it'll be closed completely by the
As
end
per
of the
Mr.
year.
Leslie,
Yeah.
it still is not gonna close the gap totally, so he's still gonna be short compared to last year. Just to ensure everybody knows that, he's not. So.
So we have a motion and a second to, where is that at? To approve the FBO agreement. Correct, we have the motion and a second.
Correct, yep.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Let's go back to the Public Works Chair report.
Okay, as the maintenance report goes, we all know it's not Mr. Hager Hickert, started after 22 years in the county. The only issues you see as far as the budget goes, is the insurance, due to staffing, and utilities. We already discussed the resolution. Mr. Lexi taking over the other 50%. And that loan. Mr. Leslie did inform us that 34 jets landed on July 25th. The runway project is complete. My bill will be about $150,000 common. Matched by approximately $4 million paid for the master plan, still waiting for the DOA and the FAA to move forward. Mr. Marvin, as far as the budget goes, Mr. Marvin reported that about $60,000 from the sale of the pavement millings and will be used for repairs for the terminal buildings. Therefore, brought in $30,000 county last year. As well as the state of the pavements are still in some shape. Now priorities are for the master plan and terminal building going forward. The highway department, Commissioner, now update the committee on completion and ongoing projects. County work will start 2027. One Apple Green Bridge is now completed and open. We've got 2 proposals, options for the county road CC and such from LCO. PG&E favors option 1, which was voted on and approved with only votes. There's a bunch of those, the normal increases, price of salt, sand wages was increased from 2026. Was identified new funding opportunities to balance expenses and looking to a 5-6-year road plan using some chip sealing and overlays expenses. There was a thank you letter from the town country board, the town support for the bridge. We had a road controls trial, 30 stalls of crossing at town was recommended. So was recommended by Peterson. There was a motion to approve, subject to the board. Board committee updates, response, future agenda items, ETV notes.
Thank you. Letter D, Trail 30 Snowmobile Crossing. Discussion and possible action. You want to touch on that?
So this is a reroute of a snowmobile trail that I believe runs along B now. I think Mr. Pino's on if he wants to add anything to that. They're looking to change the route, and this would make a crossing at County B. Mr. Peterson was in favor of this at committee. Committee approved it. So this part here, we're gonna look at the road itself under land, water, and forestry. This is just the crossing at B that would be approved here.
Mr. Pindle, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I am online, and this is the, I guess back in the day, there was a crossing here by the Rod and Gun Club up on B. Currently, the crossing is down by Sheptick and by Big Fish. So this would just be moving the crossing up to by the Rod and Gun Club on County Road B. A lot safer, more visibility. So that's about all I got on that.
Mr. Newman.
I'm gonna make the motion that we approve the new crossing on Highway B by the Gun Rod Club. Second.
Motion by Mr. Newman, second by Mr. Hellwig to approve. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Number 10, Public Safety Committee report. Mr. Buckles.
Okay, thanks. Public Safety met on August 7th. The circuit court, we did have no report from any of the judges. They were having court that day. Clerk of Courts, Mrs. Kelsey recognized her staff for hard work and dedication for covering 2 unstaffed positions until they were filled. The Sheriff's Department patrol report, the written report was reviewed by Lieutenant Rapinski. Calls have increased from 861 in July. There has been 28 crashes in July and 173 year to date with 2 fatalities at this time of the report. Deputy Jensen was promoted to patrol sergeant, and Sergeant Gillis is now narcotic detective. A jail report was given by Lieutenant Waller. There were 62 average inmates incarcerated with 73% unemployment rate at the time of booking. Mrs. Lyons reported that the jail material program, MAT program, that stalled when building bridges funding was cut and will go forward now under the new Vital Strategic Strategies grant that the county received. Matching funds will be drawn from the opioid settlement for 2 years. There was a written report from the code enforcement specialist. Dispatch, a written report was reported or provided by Director Rapinski. Reported there are 2 FT openings in dispatch. National Night Out had a big turnout, cops and bobbers, on August 9th, and there is a mass casualty training even scheduled for July 17th, 2026. The BRIC grant was released, so the hazardous mitigation plan will go forward. There is a special LEPC stakeholders plan meeting August 20th. And a child support report was given. Ms. Okamoto reported that state changes to child support enforcement methods. A state training will be held here in September 4th. Emergency services, Mr. Fremmel presented a written report on ambulance runs. He is currently working on an MOU with Glidden to provide ambulance coverage to Clam Lake. Mr. Fremmel discussed highlights from attending Pinnacle EMS conference in Phoenix, and there was an increase in deaths in July. The medical examiner's report is on hold, waiting for toxicology results to come in. That ends my report because the rest of it, I believe, Mr. Markman's gonna cover.
Very good, thank you. Number 11, Land, Water, Forestry Resource Committee.
At our August 13th meeting, we had an application for the Chequamegon Mountain Bike Festival bike event that was approved without negative vote. We heard from Mr. Dahlman with the Nature Conservancy on the proposed Headwater Rivers Forest conservation easement proposal. They're asking for Sawyer County support for a conservation easement on former paper company lands now owned by Aurora. Interagency cooperation is desired for the purposes of obtaining a grant, and the permanent easement would maintain contiguous forest land open to the public and offer some protection to the environment. Discussion and questions by the committee included concerns about timber management, future transfers of the property, carbon credits, as well as previous concerns including access to gravel. Motion to take no action pending further information was approved with 2 in opposition to that. Register of Deeds update was provided by Ms. Thompson, who stated that July was an outstanding month for real estate transfers. She also noted that the department is not asking for any significant budget increase, and staff plans to attend training seminars. Land Records and County Surveyor Department report, written real property RPL report was provided. Mr. DeVries gave an overview of the department's functions. Their budget is primarily office equipment, software, and website. The department has funding from Land Information Program Grant, which draws funds from Register of Deeds document recording, with the balance funded by the state. Part of this funding also covers the Surveyor Department. Large expenses include aerial photography every 5 years and LiDAR. Surveyor written report was provided by Mr. Gregory, stated his department is responsible for maps and survey and the preservation of survey markers. They are working on restoring over 700 corners lost in the federal forest. The department budget covers survey marker materials, vehicles, and fuel expenses. He noted the cost of aluminum used for markers has increased. Forestry report from Mr. Peterson reported that 9 sales were active in July. There's approximately $4.7 million in sold and uncut timber. 4 out of 5 ATV trail rehab projects received acceptable bids. Oak wilt has infected some new trees identified in Coudray and Sealy forest blocks, and a DNR flight is scheduled. Carbon credits are in the final verification stage and should be for sale in the first quarter of 2026. Their budget is the same as last year. No change. Trail 30 reroute proposal, as we discussed, is going to eliminate conflicts with residents and was approved by the committee without negative vote. We had a trade proposal that Mr. Peterson recommended. It was a landlocked County 40 for a private 40-acre parcel with access, timber value being about the same. That was also carried, it carried without negative vote. We had a DNR report from Mr. Morris, who is replacing Brody Fisher on the committee. He gave a report on oak wilt flights and upcoming seeding of white pine and oak trees on forest land in the county. Motorized trail report from Mr. Davison reported that Sawyer County Alliance is performing maintenance, brushing, and working on Tuscobia culvert issues and getting ready for the winter season. We did not have a report from non-motorized. Zoning and Conservation Department, Mr. Kozlowski reviewed a written report. Ongoing projects include the Winter Price Dam with a $14,000 repair needed. That would be split with winter. And the Land Water Management Plan Advisory Committee had 3 meetings. There are 7 county-owned dams. 2026 budget reflects a 30% decrease in staffing expenses because the state will now fully fund the second conservationist position. Expenses are CIP requests for groundwater monitoring project, the Fish Trap Dam repair, the Birch Lake Dam repair, and dam inspections. Treasurer report from Mr. Lehner reported that 26 out of 37 parcels are sold, and the department is marketing the remaining 11. Mr. Lehner asked the committee to look at an IMREM parcel that is a road right-of-way in Spider Lake and possibly deed it to the town. Mr. DeVries stated that it is not a town road in that location, so Mr. Lehner will table the discussion until more is known. That concludes my report.
Thank you. Letter B, Trail 30 reroute. Mr. Peterson.
Okay, as was previously discussed, we have a request for a reroute of Trail 30, where we'll be removing it off a Chippewa Trail, routing through the county forest and a couple of other private parcels that the Snowmobile ATV Alliance has obtained permission to do so. It's about a 3-mile reroute, about a mile through county forest, and the rest is a little bit on Tower Road and then the private parcels. So I think this is a positive move and can solve some potential problems with the residents on Chippewa Trail and coming out on County Highway B too.
Ms. Hessel.
I'll make a motion to approve the reroute.
Motion by Ms. Hessel, second by Mr. Duffy to approve the reroute. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Mr. Peterson. Number 12, Health and Human Services Board report. Ms. Wilson.
So the Health and Human Services met on August 12th. We had our budget public hearing meeting to start off that evening. Julia Lyons presented the budget for 2026. Many of the expenses and revenues will stay the same, but the revenue source from grants are up in the air at this time because we don't know if they will be approved or not. She stated that the resort and tourist rooming house licensing will be changed in 2026 to adjust to follow the state fee schedule. Mr. Savitsky noted that the projected expenses were about $1 million higher than 2025, and that was probably because of out-of-county placement expenses. Let's see, we are encouraging LCO liaison by the 1st of September. Mr. Markin asked for strategic planning from all of us. Aging and Disability Service, Ms. Martin gave a verbal report on dementia, care screening, training, and awareness projects. There was a wine, women, and dementia program that was presented at LCO, and it was very well attended, and because of that, they are going to do it again at the Senior Resource Center. Ms. Carlson presented a behavioral health report for CST program, and that will be coordinated with the Youth Justice for referrals. There are 5 clients currently in the CST. The CLTS is enrollment is increasing. Issues have arisen with court-ordered OWI assessments for ATV, UTV operators who are receiving multiple OWIs but have no restrictions on driving, and the DNR is looking at this. The CCS staff member is needed by financial limitations are in the way to hire anyone. Ms. Lyons reviewed the mobile crisis report. There are 47 consumers participating in the community support programs. In June, 12 were court-ordered and the rest were voluntary. For the mobile crisis report, there were 4 consults, 2 emergency detentions. The mental health expenses of $2.5 million and the cost of client reports were reviewed. Out-of-county placements continued to be expense concern for the county. Ms. Lyons presented a verbal CPS report where 21 referrals were received. 11 were screened in July. Youth Justice has 19 ongoing cases. Diversion is collaborating with the schools. The goal is to work with parents to keep kids in homes and out of the system. There's a new program called Challenge Academy at Fort McCoy in lieu of placement into Lincoln Hills. This requires cooperation by the child and the DA and the parents. They have to participate in a voluntary parent-youth collaboration to successfully complete their program through the Challenge Academy. The Children in Care report were reviewed. There were 17 foster care placements on our report. The longest is 908 days. The shortest is 41 days. The economic support was presented. There were 1,218 food share applications, 1,329 Badger Care applications, and child care 20 families were served. In the call center, there were 7,156 calls. Of those, 2,328 were renewal applications, and those were processed. Ms. McCallan gave us a public health report with 9 confirmed cases of measles in Oconto County. The staff is participating in opioid training, and the clean sweep is coming up. That is September 16th for medications, electronics, and hazardous waste. It's 2 to 6 p.m. at the fairgrounds. Tick-borne illnesses are increasing. Flu, RSV, and COVID activity is minimal. And that's my report.
Thank you. Number 13, Finance Committee report.
Thank you. We met on August 14th. Mr. Lehner, our treasurer, provided a written report on sales of INREM parcels and real estate tax collections. 26 out of 37 NREM parcels were sold. The remaining 11 are actively for sale now. The department sent notices and reminders to delinquent taxpayers and greatly reduced the number of NREM parcels received by the county in July. Mr. Markran commended Mr. Lehner and his staff for doing a great job since starting in January. Budget small decrease in staff insurance for 26. Mr. Markram advised the committee that he is asking for 3 top priorities from the departments by next Thursday for guidance informing the county strategic plan. In the Finance Department report, Mr. Markram reviewed sales tax revenues for July, budget performance reports for July 25, and July CIP purchases. Requested 26 budget update. The Finance Department will save money in 26 because Mr. Markram's salary is removed. Going into the 26 county budget, there is a structural deficit. Sales tax and interest revenue leveled off since the previous year. 24 saw a shared revenue increase. No new revenue source came in 25, and purchase services for out-of-county placements have continued to increase. On the department financial updates, on the county clerk budget report, Mr. Markin reviewed the 24 financials and assessed April 25 revenues and expenses for the county clerk. 25 year-to-date revenues are at 117% of budget, expenses are at 61%. For the treasurer's budget report, Mr. Markin reviewed the 24 financials and assessed April 25 revenues and expenses for treasurer. 25 year-to-date revenues are at 0% of budget, expenses are at 57%. Register of Deeds budget report, Mr. Markin reviewed the 24 financials and assessed 25 revenues and expenses for the medical examiner. 25 year-to-date revenues are at 100% of budget, expenses are at 55%. On the investments review and update, June investment report was provided. Interest rates are holding above 4%. CD purchase, a $3 million PMA CD matured in August and we went out on bids for reinvestment. Mr. Markin recommends a PMA Wisconsin CD at 4.16% interest. Motion to purchase the 3 million PMA Wisconsin CD as recommended Mr. Markin was approved and carried without a negative vote. Hazard mitigation funding, the BRIC grant funds have not been cut at this time. The item will be revisited in the future should it be necessary. On board appointment committee updates, Ms. Hessel reported that the PACE committee meeting was canceled and economic development is not meeting in August. Sawyer County Fair is running this weekend. That ends my report.
Thank you.
Chairman, could you please confirm that Mr. Markran is still getting a salary, just not as finance director?
Wait, what?
Thank
What?
you.
I thought we,
Number 14, Economic Development and Extension Committee report.
thank you. We met on August 11th. Library budget updates. The Weiss Library, Ms. Larson presented Weiss Library documents to the committee. The library is asking for an additional $35,000 for the 2026 operations. For winter, Ms. Nucky presented winter library documents to the committee. The library is not asking for additional funding in 26. Mr. Markran explained the statutory formula used to calculate county support for libraries in the region. Sawyer has historically paid more to the local libraries. This goes on the tax bill and does not come out of the county operations. The University of Wisconsin Extension Department report, Ms. Bellatruce updated the committee. The Spooner agricultural position is still open and clean sweep events are coming up. Ms. Ragnar gave a presentation on how the FoodWise program has served the county and thanks Sawyer County and Kim Clark for her work with the program in the community. FoodWise will be discontinued due to the SNAP Ed funding cuts. Replacing the program will cost $60,000 to $80,000, and that amount is not included in UW Extension's 26 budget allocations. Ms. Bellatruce reported that Washburn County is going to continue a version of the program using excess funding carried over from another account and suggests that Sawyer County could choose to allocate funds and share in the program with Washburn. The 26 budget reflects a general increase in expenses on track with 25. For the Hayward Lakes Visitors and Convention Bureau report, Ms. Simons reported on July advertising campaigns and parenting publications to reach families with children, an email campaign, and statistics showing meaningful website engagement. The Convention Bureau will be putting out flags at the intersection of Highway 63 and 2770 crosswalk during busy events for pedestrian safety. They're not asking for an increase in the 26 budget. We discussed a resolution 2025-32, Canadian wildfire smoke, was presented and discussed. The board is asking higher levels of government to look into the problem of 3 years of forest fire smoke entering Wisconsin skies and impacting public health and the economy. The motion approved in this resolution and carried without a negative vote. The Sawyer County LCO Economic Development Corporation, Ms. Hessel reported that the EDC will have a permanent office in the new lumber exchange building in 26. A Thrive grant was received. The 26 budget request is not increasing. For trail reports, there was no motorized report. Mr. Duffy reported on the non-motorized trails. The Lumberjack Festival conflicted with the powwow and will in 26 again. The dates are set by still, so it's kind of out of some control. Work is being done in the Berkey, and upcoming events include a trail run and Labor Day bike race. On board appointed committee updates, there was no reports, but Ms. Hessel reported that the county fair is August 14th through the 17th, and a new secure fence has been installed around the fairgrounds. Marsh Savitsky has been mowing the ground, so we appreciate that, Marsh. And that ends my report.
Thank you.
Could you please clarify that those flags from the Hayward Lakes Visitor Center is on Highway 63 and Main Street, no other location? Thank you.
Letter B, resolution 2025 Canadian wildfire smoke. Mr. Markman.
We brought this to committee just to do something about voicing our displeasure with the wildfire smoke. We realize this is not binding, it's not going to necessarily spur anybody onto this, but we just wanted to send it to our state officials to say, we're aware of this, it's becoming an issue and has potential implications for tourism in Sawyer County. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think that was good. I mean, it's a resolution. Where else do we carry it? It seems to be a problem. It's getting worse and worse. And it would be a difficult thing, I guess, to solve because it's dealing with another country. But I think the resolution basically is what Mike says, that we're displeased. And what we'd like to see if there's something that can be done about it, if it's going to continue and maybe even get worse in years to come.
Pleasure of the board.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution to send it forward.
Motion by Ms. Hessel, second by Mr. Buckles to approve the resolution. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Number 15, County Administrative Committee Report. We hear from the county clerk, we hear from the Veteran Center, we hear from Information Technology and Human Resources, and we hear from the county administrator. We get board updates. I'll leave it at that. Letter B, CJCC Committee Report.
The big update here is we have a signed, fully executed MOU with LCO for the CJCC. So that's great. That I think it expired in January, so it's been a long time coming. So that's a good report.
And letter D, County Administrator Report, please.
All right, it's been a hectic month. I had my first department head meeting on July 22nd. It went well. We're planning on doing that monthly now, consistently. That along with strategic plan, again, just hoping to get everything aligned and everybody moving in the same direction. So I'm looking forward to more of those. I attended the lumber exchange groundbreaking ceremony. It was a lot of fun, and I really like this project. I think it's going to do a lot for downtown. The way they're doing the building is honoring the history there. The building they tore down, they're recycling about 90% of that material, so that's another good thing. Some of it will actually be within the building, some will be used in other projects within Sawyer County. Just what the building is going to do, I think, is gonna bring something different to Sawyer County. It'll be kind of a business hub where people who are maybe working remotely can go and work there and kind of gather ideas from each other. I just look for a lot of energy there. I'm excited for that to open. It'll open in about a year from now. Finance, this has been mentioned quite a bit, but this is definitely the most challenging budget I've had to work on since I've been here, and it's for a few reasons. Just every year prior to this, we had some new source of income, whether it would be sales tax was increasing pretty rapidly, which we've actually seen a pretty good rebound this year so far, and projections are that we'll have a good year. But we've had interest income has been very high. When I got here, I think the interest rates were 0.25%, and then it got up to about 5.5%, and now we're hovering around 4.25% for our money market funds. So that's affected a little bit, and it makes a big difference. That's about $250,000 less in revenue. And then for 2024, there was a legislation put in that increased shared revenue, and Sawyer County did receive one of the top 10 highest percentage increases in shared revenue, but because we barely got any, we didn't see a lot of new money. But it was a nice bump for 2024. Now that levels off now, so that's not new money, it's just money that we've already built in the budget. So those are some of the challenges that we're looking at. And then, as has been mentioned, we've seen quite an increase in out-of-county placement costs over the last 3 years, and that's a ongoing challenge that we really need to deal with. It's really becoming a budget problem now, and that's one of the things I have to work with, is what we're going to do with that. So it's been a lot of work. We'll get there, we always do, but this has been a more challenging year. Strategic planning, I know we've talked about this kind of ad nauseum over all the committee meetings, but thank you for turning in all those. If you haven't turned in any from any of your committees, please get them to me as soon as we can. We'll turn those over to UW Extension to compile and come up with about a top 10 or 12 to bring to the board to take a look at, and we'll go through the strategic planning process from there. It's very important work that will be our guiding document going forward, and will help with a lot of things. One thing's, I know that everyone here gets asked, well, can we do this? This will be a guiding document. If it fits in, we'll take a look. If it doesn't, we can just say, well, it's a great idea, it just doesn't fit right now where we're going. And then it will also help, with the departments to, again, we just really want to be streamlined and moving in the same direction. I think that'll help a lot. The airport, the resurfacing project is complete. That went very well. I think it took 35 days to complete, and part of that was a delay because we got deconstruction done so fast that we beat the plant that could supply the pavement for us. And so it just couldn't have gone better. And as I mentioned, the traffic has picked up, and we probably won't make up completely what we lost, but we're going to have a pretty decent year still in spite of that. The Veterans Tribute, SEH is still working on completing their study, which is a contingency for the purchase. At the admin committee, I just kind of laid my heart out there. I wanted to just take a little bit of step back and complete some of the steps that we maybe hadn't completed completely. So those are to get a design before the admin committee to move forward, and then from there, get a solid estimate on what it's gonna cost to complete it, and then go out to bids from there. I think it's gonna be a great project. I also said at the meeting that I do love this project, and we've taken some heat for what is this going to do for veterans, but I stated I have two hopes that come out of it. One is that when veterans in Sawyer County see that, they say, I feel welcome and I feel honored, and people care here. That's one thing. And then the other thing is I would hope that for those of us who are not veterans, when we drive by and see it, we can say, hey, you know, I haven't checked in on so-and-so in a while. So it would just be a reminder for both the veterans and for those in the community who aren't veterans. For connections, I got a tour of North Lakes Community Clinic. I hadn't ever been there before. Actually came away pretty impressed. It's much bigger than I thought, and they provide a lot more services than I knew they did, so that was nice. As I mentioned, the MOU is now fully signed, and on the public radio network, we had a meeting out at LCO on Tuesday, and that went very well. I was out there with the sheriff, the chief, and the communications director for EMS, and we met with the attorney general and some staff out there. Very good meeting. They want to work with us. They've lost some federal funding as well, so they're looking out for everything, but a priority is the safety of the emergency response staff within Sawyer County, so they do want to work with us. So I came away very encouraged. It's a very good meeting. Want to work together and get things done, and I think that's a good start. That's all I've got.
Thank you.
Chairman, I got a question for Mr. Markern. The Lake District and the Board of Appeals for Callahan and Mud Lake, you had that on there, but you didn't comment on it, is that?
There's ongoing.
Ongoing.
Yep. Yeah, it's in legal. There's a lawsuit by the Lake District against County Board about bringing in other people who were excluded from the Lake District, and it's ongoing. No real update on it.
All right.
The Lake District is having their annual meeting on the 31st of this month at the LCO Convention Center from 8 to noon. And we will be they will be electing officers, chairman, secretary, and treasurer. I'm still the representative from the county, and Scott Verbeck is the representative from the town around Lake.
Thank you. Number 16, Board Appointment Committee updates.
I have a couple on.
Yep.
On August 14th, the Nemacaga Transit Board Directors held their annual board meeting. Ridership for July was 5,252, which is up to 420 rides from July of 2024. As of the end of July, have completed 33,314 rides, which is an increase of 740 rides from this time last year. We're in the process of ordering new computers for their dispatch center, as the ones they have are very old and not compatible with Windows 11. Update is needed by October, and they received a grant which they will be using for the purchase. We have completed plannings for the changes that affect two of our deviated fixed routes, and these will take effect September 2nd, 2025. The changes have allowed us to add the apartments on Round Lake School Road, new LCO University dorms to one of the routes, and add Quick Trip, the North Country Mall, which is in the Snap Fitness area, and North Lakes Community Clinic to another route. We were able to add these stops by rerouting to eliminate the number of lefts and turns, which are time consuming and contribute to more accidents. This was also a perfect time to make sure that all our scheduled bus stops on deviated fixed routes will be clearly marked. We will have professional bus stop signs at most of all of our bus stops September 2nd. We were also told that by the county administrator that we could not put one here at the courthouse. So, and bring that up. So they brought that up. So they are starting to plan for the Cranberry Fest. We will be providing transportation to and from Stone Lake as they have in the past. The fare this year will be $3 per ride. This is a slight increase from $2 last year. They didn't think that the increase would affect the number of rides, and provide as it's still low and a great way to safely get to and from the festival. So if you need a ride, you don't want to walk or you don't want to drive, give them a call. That ends that one, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. So, yes, second.
Yeah, I have one other one. I was honored to ask to go to the Sawyer, or the Wisconsin County Chairman, County Board Chairman's Forum. And it was a Monday and a Tuesday thing. There was, the action that was most important was the Constitution of the Wisconsin Counties Association, which they redid some letters and had some reds and blues, and I'm not gonna go through this whole thing because then it would be way past bedtime. So it was very interesting. We also had, they went over what county board chair rules are, very interesting. Pretty much everybody knows what they talked about all the time. And I just want to know and let you know that I believe Mr. Kinsley does an excellent job as our county board chair. So that's all I'm going to report on that.
Any news on the fair? Thank you. I haven't heard an update, but it just ended on Sunday, so I don't know. I'm assuming they'll be reporting something soon.
I haven't heard any numbers yet, but I was out there last night helping Rick, who puts a lot of work into that, and I think next year, No, I do the lawn. He does the fair. But they're gonna be looking for a lot of new volunteers next year. It sounds like they were really short this year, and that was the only damper on the whole deal, so. But I haven't heard any numbers otherwise. I did have a question, though. You guys had a special meeting for the labor negotiations. Did that come to a conclusion a couple days ago, last week?
It's tabled until we are meeting again the same day we have administrative at 11 o'clock, so we're continuing on. Anybody else have anything, Steve?
SEP board met in Ashland yesterday. They actually rehired someone part-time who they had to lay off previously, so things are picking up a little bit. They're still struggling though. Federal funds, grants that have been promised and they've been delayed basically. They've had WIOA funding was supposed to be due in April, and they're still waiting on that. So it's a little frustrating for them, of course. As far as Indian Head Community Action Agency, we've got a 6-hour strategic planning workshop next Monday, so I'll be thinking of you guys.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything? Yes.
I just have a correspondence from a meeting. I didn't know if we were at that level yet.
We are now.
Okay, all right, thank you. Yesterday, I attended a legislative breakfast in Wausau with Marshfield Clinic, Northwoods Coalition, and Alliance for Wisconsin Youth, and it was on the opioid settlement funds. And there was several people there, several counties represented, and our Sawyer County, Ms. McCollum and Ms. Crust from LCO won an award. So they brought home an award for their efforts on the opioid settlement funds.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything? Number 13, future agenda items. Anybody that ever wants to bring something forward, certainly contact the administrator, the county clerk, or I will certainly try to do the best to bring it forward. Thank you for your valuable time. We do have cake here in honor of Mr. Hagberg. Meeting adjourned.
Tweet, Mr. Schuman.